I'm sure you've all seen the TV show Rick and Morty, and I'm sure a lot of you love it, maybe a little bit too much. Well, a few years ago, the creators of the show actually made a game, and it's exactly what you'd think it would be like.
If the G3 wasn't here, who the hell would be buying my sounding rods?
I don't think it necessarily needs an introduction, but the game is called High on Life. A first-person shooter set in an alien galaxy with tons of interesting characters and a fun but familiar gameplay style. Now, I never actually played this game when it came out. In fact, I haven't even watched the newest seasons of Rick and Morty, but something compelled me to play it recently, so here I am. The game begins with us in a retro-style video game. Don't worry, this isn't the entire game. But we're currently fighting our ex-wife's new boyfriend.
Your ex-wife is back and more evil than ever. She's sending a bunch of her new blood-sucking boyfriends out. So go shoot them. Just kill them all, Buck. That's the game.
I'm sure you can also recognise the voice from the person talking to us. In fact, throughout the rest of the story, you'll probably be hearing this. But this is where we find out the basic controls, and during a wave of ex-boyfriends, we hear someone knocking, and eventually we pull away from the screen and see our sister Lizzie sitting on our bed.
Why didn't you say goodbye to Mom and Dad before they left for their trip? You know they were pissed, right?
She tells us that our parents are going away on vacation and starts, whoa, we're only 5 minutes into the game, Jesus. Whilst Lizzie's busy doing what she's doing, we look into a mirror, and this is where we choose our character's face. Which, now that I think about it, is kind of weird because we never actually see it or even speak during the entire game. Anyway, Lizzie goes downstairs to go and get ready for a party that she's planning, and after a quick look around our room, we go and join her in the living room. She gives us a nice message from our parents, who are a little bit pissed off that we didn't come and say bye before they went away.
Dad said that he flat out doesn't love you. It was actually pretty messed up.
And then we read the message that they left for us on the fridge. It looks like in this world we're kind of a loser, and our parents aren't proud of us and basically think that Lizzie's way better. After some reflection, we head outside to go and get some stuff for the party when a giant portal opens and some aliens appear. Unfortunately, we can't understand what they're saying, but what we can see is our neighbour go up to them and then start to get sucked on. The big alien seems to like this, and they leave after killing one of them. We hear some guy talking from the body, and when we turn it over, we see a gun talking to us in some alien language. He hock tours on us. I can't believe I just said that. And then is able to communicate in our language.
Oh my God, finally I'm free, thank God. What a nightmare.
This is Kenny, who is part of the Gatlian race, basically living guns, and tells us that we have to defeat some of the other aliens that have arrived, who are for some reason very unnecessarily cheeked up. We then steal their warp crystal and teleport away from the carnage that is now happening on Earth due to the aliens that arrived. We head back to the house and we find that Lizzie has killed an alien herself.
I just killed an alien.
And then we use the microwave to be able to walk. Kenny tells us that our planet has now been taken over by the G3 cartel, who, after sucking on our old neighbour, now wants to capture and sell all humans as drugs. Luckily, there's apparently a bounty hunter on this planet that we have warped to.
Hey, we're looking for Gene Zaruthian, the bounty hunter. Any idea where he might be?
Who will be able to help us with killing the cartel and saving Earth. We find Gene sleeping on a bench, and it doesn't really look like he's in any bounty hunting shape.
Get away. Don't take my shit.
But what he does let us do is take his bounty suit to be able to start hunting for ourselves.
Damn. Can't stop looking at that beautiful house. Yeah, okay. The gears are turning. Maybe I can help you.
First of all, though, we need to go and activate the license, as Gene is still using the free trial, a bit like most of us with Windows. And when we're back in the house, we find that Gene has now made himself at home and has set up his bounty hunting device, so we, with the help of Kenny, can start hunting bounties.
There you are. Who's this weirdo, and why is he setting up a huge alien computer in our living room?
Okay.
However, Gene doesn't let us go after the G3 straight away, as we're only a beginner and we need some experience first. So instead, we go and hunt down a local gangster in the slums outside the city, someone by the name of Nine Torg, who also apparently has Gene's knife, which will come in very handy on our journey. We head to the entrance of the slums and have to settle a debate between the two door guards before they allow us to enter.
If you saw us at the bar, which of us would you ask out?
I guess the red guy.
Whoa, seriously?
Okay, come on. You don't gotta say that just to make him feel better.
Listen, we're not switching around here. We picked the red guy. That's the direction we're moving in.
Thank you, thank God. Thank you so much for that changing. I really thought you were going to flake on me. Thank you.
Nah, fuck you. Change your mind right now.
But it also looks like we made an enemy for life. We continue through the tunnel and find someone else who was trying to stop us from getting through, but we give him what he deserves and eventually get down to the start of the slums where there's more people stopping us. Oh my God. But we kill all the ants and we go and speak to this fisherman who sounds like he's having the time of his life.
How do you like living down here in the slums? It's sort of colorful down here at least.
What? Are you serious? This is one of the worst places anyone can live. You can't see that just by looking at it.
And he tells us where to go and find our bounty.
But let's just pretend there's a laundromat you can sneak through to get to Sludgeworks over there.
Are we pretending, or is there really a laundromat?
Come on, kid, take the hint.
We go into a meeting with some of the higher-up ants who are trying to sell Jean's knife to someone, and we pretend to be the buyer and prank them.
It's me, your lover Stebulax. I'm back from the dead.
What? Oh my god, baby! You're alive!
But surprisingly, this convinces them, and then we take the knife and kill them both. We let the knife know that we are trying to kill Ninetorg, and he agrees, but also might want to kill Jean and us.
Point me at your raw, fleshy little tummy and jab me right into there!
But now that we've got Knifey, we can go and have a sick boss battle with Ninetorg, where she uses lasers and toxic water to try and kill us. However, she's not strong enough for us beginner bounty hunters, and we end up defeating her. We have to get a piece of her DNA to put in the bounty machine at home, so we get Knifey to handle that. And then we also see that another one of the Ninetorg family is hanging by a rope, and just to make sure she can't do anything to us in the future, we kill her as well. When back at home, Jean and Knifey have a touching reunion.
Hey, Jean, lift up that shirt and expose your soft little belly for me. I'm coming in hot.
Yeesh. Forgot how psycho he was.
And then we turn in Ninetorg's DNA to the bounty machine and collect our reward and upgrade our suit. This is when Jean tells us that he thinks we are ready to start going after the G3 officers and gives us the first name on our list, Douglas. We step into the portal and it takes us to some sandy biome, which Kenny really doesn't approve of.
Why don't I have a helmet? You're getting me the helmet upgrade the second we're done with this shit.
And we have to traverse over this barren wasteland to get to the first settlement on the planet, Old Town. On our way down, we meet some construction workers who aren't too keen to let us get through.
Hey, tough guy, hey, look, walk away if you want. This is a fucking mac and cheese, brother.
But some serious dodging maneuvers allows us to get past and to the entrance of Old Town. Waiting for us outside is a very helpful old man. He may have some problems.
So, why do they call you Old Wet Grundy?
It's 'cause I'm old and I piss myself every day. I'm doing it right now.
But he does let us go through, so we can't really hate on him. Old Town is exactly what you'd expect it to look like. It's a very old looking town, also crawling with G3 guards, who we have to take care of. At the end of Old Town though, is an entrance to Dreg Town, which is the new town. God, there's so many towns. And we speak to the gate conductor, and he very sneakily tells us to go and take care of the rest of the G3 that are in Old Town. And after we've done that, he finally lets us in and take the train down to Dreg Town. And it's definitely clear we're getting closer, because Douglas himself appears on one of the screens to talk about recruiting new people for the G3.
My name's Douglas, the G3 Chief of Training and Torture. Ignore that second bit for this ad. This was just about the training.
Now we plan to infiltrate the G3 recruitment session to get close to Douglas. And to do this, we need to go and get gooped up to look like one of the G3 recruits. And then have to go do some challenges to prove ourselves. The first two challenges are pretty easy. We have to kill some of the other recruits and then complete an obstacle course, which I actually failed the first time, though, but we won't talk about that. But after a few more attempts, we get to the briefing room where we have to test our resilience by making us wait a whole hour. Only kidding, we find a way through the vents and get around to a back entrance. This is where we meet a friendly little guy called Dr. Jupy. He tells us that Douglas has taken his whole family and he's trying to get them back.
But I just can't get through these pipes in the next room. Oh my god, I'm freaking out.
Hey, whoa, listen, little guy. We're trying to find Douglas too. You know, maybe we can help each other.
So, like the good Samaritans we are, we help him through, and he helps lead us to Douglas's office. We have to complete another challenge though, which is again just shooting more G3 and some big guy with the rocket launcher. But after that, we meet up with Dr. Jupy, and he tells us about his family, whilst we complete the next puzzle to get him through.
Swoopy and Floopy would really like you to. Oh, they're good kids. I can't wait to introduce them to you and tell them about everything you did for me.
Oh, what a nice and innocent guy he is. Then after fighting through some more G3, we get to the entrance of Douglas's office and help Jupy get inside before entering ourselves. This is where we have what I think is probably the worst betrayal in media history. Sweet little Dr. Jupy was actually Douglas, and we actually helped him get back to his suit, which keeps him alive. So, of course, we kill him and chop him up, not only because he is part of the G3, but also because he broke our hearts. And then on him, we find another Gatlian who is called Sweezy. She's basically a submachine gun that has a time grenade. When leaving, we see the leader of the G3, Garmantuous, on a screen, and he doesn't sound very happy.
Douglas, it's Garmantuous. Where the f*** are you?
But we head back home and find Jean and Lizzie bickering, making us start to feel like a little family.
Can you please tell this dried up sack of shit to go home? I don't want to share a couch with him.
Tough titties, Leslie. You're kidding me, had a deal.
It's Lizzie!
This is when Lizzie drops the bomb that she has a new alien boyfriend, which I'm not even sure how that works, but okay. And it looks like Gene is here to stay.
I live here now.
So we can move on to our next bounty. The next person on our list is Krubis. And to get to him, we get transported to a jungle planet where we have to kill some mites, as well as get across these veiny looking purple trees. And then we also find one of the Fergal species, who are another alien that have had their planet taken over by the G3 so they can sell them as drugs. So we have a lot in common. We kill some more G3 and then find a little teddy bear guy who is part of the tribe that live on this planet and are currently being held captive by the G3.
I don't know what to do.
Don't worry, we'll fucking fix that for you.
Really? Thank you. It sucks so much watching everyone you know getting enslaved.
These are called the Moplets, by the way, which sounds like a little kids band. We free the village and become the hero, and then speak to the leader of the Moplets and tell him we want to kill Krubis.
What's this? You aim to take down Krubis of the G3? You are truly a hero to Moplets everywhere.
It turns out that the G3 are forcing the Moplets to mine for Fergals so that the G3 can farm them. It lets us know of a person who is currently staying in a mansion nearby who is friends with Krubis and will know where he is. Also, these guys are so cute, but after what happened with Dr. Jupi, I don't really want to trust anyone anymore. Eventually, though, we get to the mansion with Krubis' friend, who actually turns out to be a chronic Fergal addict. But he gives us a warp device to be able to warp things now, so he can't be that bad, right?
Okay, sick. That was easy.
Now what we need to do is get Krubis' coordinates and a blank warp disk, put them together, and then we'll be able to warp Krubis to us. But surely that'll be pretty hard.
That stuff's in the mines. We could just go down there and get it right now.
Oh, right.
Never mind, looks like we're going into the mines. In the mines, we find Krubis' secretary and pretend to be the new boss, so she lets us through. And as the new boss, we set out our first orders. Okay, maybe we've gone a little bit off track. But eventually we managed to get into the office and get Krubis' coordinates. So now all we need is a blank warp disk to put them on. Some Moplets we find who have captured a G3 guard tell us that they're Prince Chosen One.
Prince Chosen One, it's him.
Has a warp disk and will give it to us if we save him. To get to him, we just need to kill some G3 and warp to him. And the Chosen One gives us the blank warp disk.
Can we bum a blink warp disk?
Huh? Yeah, sure. I've got a bunch.
So now what we need to do is go back to the mansion, say goodbye to Krubis' friend, who seems to be having withdrawals.
I don't feel so good at all.
And then swap his mansion for where Krubis is. After a boss fight with him, we eventually kill him, get some of his DNA, and then get a new Gatlian added to our arsenal. This is Gus, who is a shotgun Gatlian and can suck enemies, not in that way. We head back home, and Gene tells us to come and sit down to watch a broadcast from the president of the city we have warped into. He actually speaks of us, showing that we're making a name for ourselves as a bounty hunter, and invites us to go meet him in his headquarters. Luckily for us, he's anti-G3 too, so Gene has already set up a meeting.
Sorry for making the call without you, but Clug's a good man.
And we portal over to his office and speak to Magistrate Clug. He asks us for help taking on the G3, as he's been trying for ages but has failed to do so, and also his hands are full with other problems.
I mean, I've got my hands full with Gary the Poisoner. He's not just poisoning the water supply, he's moved on to poisoning weirder stuff now, like street lamps. We don't even know how that works.
Clug also gives us a device to be able to teleport any human prisoners that we find back to safety. And after our conversation, we teleport back to the house. Gene says we should go to the pawn shop and get a new jetpack. And on the way, we also find an officer giving us a ticket for illegally parking our house here. I swear, you can't do anything nowadays. We buy the jetpack, but find out that we have to wait a few days before it's ready. So we go back and speak to Gene, and he tells us that now's probably a good time to get some rest. Which is actually the first time we have since starting on our bounty hunting journey. After some rest, it's now Schwib's day, and we have received our jetpack, which means we can now get across big distances instead of being teased by everywhere we went. We now also have some information on some new bounties, and we walk in on Lizzie and Gene arguing about Lizzie's new boyfriend, who is coming to visit soon.
This guy's a loser.
He is so hot. He's like a low 7 or a high 6, and he's really nice to me.
Yeah, no ulterior motives there.
It feels like us three have become a bit more of a family, and Gene's concerned about Lizzie dating, which I would be too if she was dating a completely different species. Anyways, we head back through the portal to go and kill our new target, the Screndel Bros. When on the new planet, we find another one of the Moplets who tells us that they have been enslaved again and that they are now working in Screndel Labs.
Honestly, I think they like being enslaved.
So of course, that's where we head. And on the way, the G3 guards try and stop us, and they also have some new snipers now. But obviously that's no match for us. And we reach one of the lab offices and find one of the Moplets who was working for Krubis before we kind of killed him. And to be fair, she takes her job really seriously because she sets off the alarm, letting know the G3 that we're here.
Sorry, I need to let the G3 know you're here. Just my job, nothing personal. Feel free to have some candy.
You're gonna set off the alarm.
Yep, I'm gonna set off the alarm.
even though we are trying to like save her entire species. Nonetheless, we push through and make it to the main lab, which is where we find a Gatlian being experimented on quite traumatically. This guy's called Creature, and he can basically shoot these little baby people, and they go and attack enemies and can go into little vents to unlock doors for us, which could have been why the G3 were experimenting on him. Also, on one of the screens in the lab, we find someone else who may play a role later in the game. But he tells us that most of the Gatlian species have been killed by the G3.
The bad guys did experiments on me and fucked me up real bad.
But now we can use Creature to unlock doors to get to one of the Grendel brothers, Jonathan. This is a pretty easy boss fight. We just need to jump around a lot and dodge these waves that he shoots out. Unfortunately though, we're unable to kill him as he gets away at the last minute. So we head over to the cloning facility where the G3 are trying to clone and get people to breed so they can basically farm more humans to sell. But they don't really know how we work at the moment, so it looks a bit confusing.
Hey, you guys okay in there?
Hey! They want us to bang, but she used to be my boss.
Yeah, I was supposed to fire her, and then we all got abducted by aliens. Anyway, yeah, we're not attracted to each other.
I mean, she's cool, but not my type.
And she is my type, but she's not cool.
I'm all over this.
We get to the office of the next Grendel brother, Angela, but he manages to get away before we get inside. However, eventually we corner him and have a boss battle with him as well, where we have to dodge his sticky balls. He also gets away as well last minute. Very frustrating, making it much more long-winded. But after some more parkour, we're straight into another battle with the third and final brother, Mona, who I think got glitched during this fight and made it pretty easy. But after he's defeated, the other two brothers come back and fight and combine all their abilities together. But we're the best bounty hunter ever, so we take them all down, and Knifey has some fun with them. Maybe a little too much.
You know what? I don't see this often, but I'm fully sated right now. I actually need a rest.
And after getting all their DNA, we head back to the house, and Gene tells us that he's going to put our face on the old advertisements for bounty hunting that he used to use to get more business. Oh yeah, Lizzie's boyfriend Twig is also here now.
Yo, you guys are fresh out of Friendalos. Oh, hey, I'm Twig. I'm dating your sister.
This f***ing guy.
And it's safe to say Gene isn't very happy with it, probably because he's moving in now and could maybe take Gene's couch away from him. But we can't focus on that as we have another G3 officer to kill, Dr. Giblets. Gene tells us that apparently he's in possession of a really powerful Gatlian, who we are going to need if we're going to go up against Garmantuous. But we don't really have his whereabouts at the moment, so we have to do the very exciting quest of asking around. And we've also unlocked a new detective mode on our suit, which is somewhat helpful, I guess. And we head outside the house to go around the city asking people if they know about Dr. Giblets.
I'm really sorry. I don't know who that is, but good luck, I guess. Hope you find them.
Bounty Suit also decides to rank each interaction we have. Thank you, Bounty Suit. We go up to one of the merchants, Blorto, and he seems a little bit suspicious when we ask him if he knows about Dr. Giblets.
Whoa, where'd you hear that name? You can't just go asking around town for a guy like that.
What? Why? What's wrong with asking about Dr. Giblets?
I don't know. Why do you think I know anything about Dr. Giblets? I don't know nothing. Now buy something, I'll beat it, Buster.
But when we go and speak to another guy, he says if we mention someone called Michael Taint to Blorto, then he'll talk. So we do, and he does, and tells us to go to the new High on Life store in the slums. So we head back into the slums, and it turns out that the ants we were killing at the beginning of the game are now working for the G3 and recognize us.
Where to? Wait. Oh shit! It's you! The bounty hunter's back! Everyone, get him!
So we have to kill all of them before we can get through. And now that we have a jetpack, we can get to new areas in the slums, which is where we find quite a nice restaurant in the middle of it. But past that, we get to the opening of the new High on Life store and start asking around for Dr. Giblets. But it seems like no one here knows where he is. And when we're leaving, we get stopped by some agents who are weirdly threatening.
This wannabe bounty hunter doesn't seem to be shopping.
That's right. Seems like that poke in that beak where it don't belong.
Be a shame if something happened to your beak as a result if you catch our drift.
And we also see a stampede of people trying to get to the new store, and it looks like they've killed someone by trampling on them. Very sad, but he does have some magnetic boots we can now use to climb these walls, so I guess his sacrifice wasn't in vain. We use it to get back home and find the two agents that saw us earlier are here and are actually here to help as they are working for Magistrate Klug.
And we're sorry, we still sound like we're intimidating you.
It's the only way we know how to talk. Our wives hate us.
They say they have knowledge of Dr. Giblets' whereabouts and want us to go and kill him, which we were already planning on doing, so it works out. And they take us back to Klug's office where he has a data card which shows where Dr. Giblets is. Very helpful. Turns out he's on a planet we were previously on, where we met a drug addict's rich guy in his mansion, and what do you know, there's more G3 waiting here for us. Sadly, we find an injured Moplet who was caught standing where Base had walked into, and it kind of severed him in half, and we do the hard but right thing and put him out of his misery. It's a very sad moment, but we don't really have time to mourn, as we need to go and do an investigation at one of the labs to find out what has been going on and where Dr. Giblets is. It looks like he kind of had a meltdown and was thinking that people were trying to kill him and so killed his own men. We also find another Gatlian that's being experimented on, but we can't get into that at the moment.
Dr. Giblets must have used that modified Gatlian to attack his men. It's pretty powerful. Did a lot of damage. It'd be great if we could somehow get that Gatlian for ourselves. You think that's gonna happen?
Eventually, though, we find where Dr. Giblets is, and we take his DNA, but the floor drops down and we get put into some arena where Giblets has set some challenges for us, as he now knows he's been killed. Sort of a fail-safe that he set. After completing the challenges though, a hologram of Giblets decides that it must have been him who killed himself, as we've lasted this long.
Myself! I killed myself! Finally! It makes sense, you know. I always hated myself.
I'm sure he'll be at peace with that idea in heaven or hell. And after being released, we go and get the Gatlian that's being experimented on. But for some reason, Kenny doesn't seem too keen to get him saved. However, during our success, Jean ruins the mood and tells us that Lizzie hasn't been home in a while and that she was last with Tweeg, so we're going to have to go and look for her. As we're about to leave, Kenny asks us to leave all the other Gatlians behind whilst we go and look for Lizzie and Tweeg at the restaurant in the slums. We head over to the restaurant, but they aren't here. However, Kenny sits us down at the table and tells us a secret that he's been keeping. Basically, he was the main reason that the G3 found and destroyed his home planet. The other Gatlians don't know this, however, but the Gatlian that we saved was their leader, and in his dying moments, Kenny told him everything he did.
We formed a rebellion. It was led by Let's Do It. He was my best friend, my mentor. He was one of the strongest Gatlians who ever lived, and I got him killed.
Quite a shock to us, clearly. But we don't really have time to process all of this, as we see Tweeg and Lizzie outside before they fly away in their space RV. To make things worse, the G3 are also here in our home city, because they saw the advertisement that Gene made, and the one he thought would be a good idea to put our address on. So we have to fight through all of them, and get back to the house, and then warp to a location that Kenny gives Gene. Where does he take us? Gatlius, his home planet, and we find out what Earth could soon look like if we don't stop the G3. We go to bed and wake up to Gene telling us that he's found Lizzie, and so we teleport to Tweeg's space RV. However, it doesn't really look like Lizzie's in danger. In fact, it looks like Tweeg's probably the one that's in danger.
Aren't we in love?
You're asking me that? Dude, you're the one who dragged me out on this trip. I wasn't looking for anything serious. I just wanted to get laid. And
Lizzie doesn't want to come home. But Tweeg admits that he's going to sell us out to the G3 for money. And this obviously makes Lizzie really pissed off with him and leave him to come home with us. When back at home, Gene tells us that he will be able to fix the Gatlian that we found. And when he does, we'll be able to go and kill Garmantuous. This is when Kenny decides to now tell the Gatlians what he did. And they don't really take it well, to be honest.
Oh, this is all sorts of fucked up, Kenny.
I don't even know what to say. See? I'm not the biggest up here.
Not now, dude.
But we decide there's no time to keep arguing, and the Gatlians agree to leave this until the G3 are defeated. So we head back to Old Town to go and defeat Garmantuous's right-hand man, Nipulon. We go to get gooped up again, but the gooper guy says his pet is ill, so we now need to go get medicine from the other side of the planet across this giant ravine that is being guarded by the Mac and Cheese brothers, who won't let us go until their dad says they love them. Yeah, it starts to get a bit weird at this point. So we go into a saloon and look for their dad, but he makes us duel with his aunt, and we draw a little bit too early, so they try and kill us, leaving us with no choice but to murder them all, including Papa Mac and Cheese. But we go back to the brothers and lie to them and tell them that their dad does love them, which then causes this to happen.
I can't handle whatever this feeling is. Is this... Oh my god. Is this love? Jesus, these guys need therapy. But hey, looks like we can cross now, though.
And we get across thanks to the power of love and are able to get the antidote, meaning we can now get all gooped up and head into Nipulon's lounge and spa. Inside we see all of these giant guys who are all smoking on humans, and we get to our own private booth where the guy we share with is also smoking on a human himself, which rightfully makes us very angry.
I love seeing the light leave their eyes.
And we do what is only fair. But now the whole place is after us, so we need to kill all the G3 inside and eventually get to Nipulon's office and start fighting him. Over halfway through, he sprays some smoke in the air, which makes us trip absolute balls, and we start to see weird visions of Gene and Lizzie and have to go and find all the Gatlians. We then start falling through a trippy wave hole, but are now able to shoot Nipulon. Eventually the drugs start to wear off a little bit, and we get back to the real world, where we have got all the Gatlians in our hand and use them to get close to Nipulon and then stab him to death. This means now there's only one thing left to do: get Let's Do It and head back to Earth to fight Garmantuous. And after a touching reunion between Let's Do It and Kenny...
Les? Is that you?
Oh, might have fucked up his speech centers too.
We do exactly that. Go to Earth and kill Garmantuous at the end. Only joking. We have to get this remote bomb that we're going to have to shove inside Garmantuous because his skin is apparently too thick to pierce. This is also where we get to see how strong Les Do It actually is. It's honestly a shame that his brain is fried and he can only really say his name. Earth now looks like it's been fully controlled by the G3, and we actually find someone who's been hiding out and seems pretty chill about everything that's going on.
I've been hiding this whole time. Don't worry about me. I got really good at hiding. You go on ahead.
Eventually, though, we get to Garmantuous, and after beating him for a bit, he brings out the most important people to us. Our parents? No.
Hey, it's me, Jack Black.
Hi, I'm Susan Sarandon. Do we know you?
Huh?
Yeah, he got a bit confused when asking all the humans who's important to them. So the good news is that our parents aren't captured, but the bad news is that we still don't know where they are. Anyways, after Garmantuous is knocked out, Kenny offers to sacrifice himself by detonating the bomb inside of him. A noble sacrifice that gets all the Gatlians respect and makes them forgive him for what he did to their planet.
Shit, it's done!
But luckily, somehow he survives, and Garmantuous is defeated once and for all, and we are now the hero to our planet. So maybe it was a good thing that we didn't go to any good colleges, because I'm sure all of our studying would have probably got in the way of our bounty hunting.